Jabari Parker. He's a guy that's been playing very well for the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo gets a lot of the headlines, but you can't forget about Parker. Missed most of his rookie season with an injury. And when you look at his improvement from last season to what he's doing this year, you see most of the categories improved, especially points per game and three-point percentage. He had just 12 tonight, though, even though his Milwaukee squad got a big win over the Bulls. Do you think he's really starting to take that leap to being maybe what Milwaukee thought he could be when they selected him number 2 overall out of Duke?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, averaging almost 20 points a game, but I like how aggressive he's been. I think he has kind of a passive personality to begin with, but this all changed when before the season started, Chris Middleton couldn't go. And Jason Kidd grabbed him and he was like, hey,
gotta be the guy.
We need someone who's going to be able to score because a guy like Giannis can do so many different things well. He's really expanded his offensive game. But Jabari Parker has Carmelo Anthony written all over him from a scoring standpoint. Just a guy who can go out there and get buckets. Now, I want to see Jabari Parker's game become a little bit more well-rounded. I want to see him go out there and grab 8 to 10 rebounds, have 3 to 4 assists. I think he has that kind of capability. But taking this next step, being aggressive. You know, sometimes being selfish is actually a good thing because when I look at the roster, there are a lot of other guys out there that aren't big-time scorers. Tony Schnell and Matthew Dellavedova is the starting backcourt. So they got to get points from someone. So when Jabari Parker is playing at his best, now he wasn't great tonight.
For sure.
But the Bulls were horrible, so it didn't really matter. But when he's at his best, they're really tough to beat. They've given so many teams fits. Beat the Cavs at home, take the Warriors right down to the wire. I mean, they have been really tough at home. And I think that's because of Chris Middleton not being around. Jabari Parker's really taken off.
And when you talk about Jabari Parker, he's not going to excel defensively. He's going to be a guy that should be able to get you buckets, which he's doing this year. We saw he's averaging close to 20. Not necessarily the highest leaper either. You know, he's not going to
disagree with that. I actually think he's pretty explosive for a guy who I still think needs to lose some weight.
But you don't really see Jabari dunking on guys like that.
He just dunked on Brook Lopez or Robin Lopez last night in Milwaukee on the break.
Well, that couldn't have been last night because
he had another dunk tonight.
All right, well, I still don't think he's like a Giannis Antetokounmpo explosive,
right?
Right? He's not an Andrew Wiggins explosive.
No, but I actually think he's too fat. I actually want to see him lose like 10 to 15 or 20 more pounds.
So now you said he is explosive, but you said he's a big boy.
Like, yeah, I actually think he could get more explosive. I think he's like scratching the surface of how great he can become.
Okay.
And I think that he benefited this year from a guy like Chris Middleton who's gone out there, gotten paid, who is an established two-guard in the NBA. Not an all-star, but an established two-guard, a very good player. The fact that he was out, Jabari's been able to expand his game. I want to see him trim down. That bigger type body, you don't need that in this NBA.
Yeah, I just wonder if that's his body makeup. You know, some people just have that sort of makeup.
Like Paul Pierce.
Right.
You would never say he was jacked.
Indeed.
You would always say he was kind of thick.
But he would get buckets, though.
Antoine Walker, we would never say he was like a body beautiful, especially nowadays. But when he played, at least he was strong and he had broad shoulders and all. So I just want to see him get in great shape. It just seems like he was always hurt, always playing behind the 8 ball. Now that he's healthy, he's been awesome this year.
I'm sure he felt comfortable tonight, though. Obviously, a Chicago kid rooting for the Bulls.
You think Antoine Walker was at that game in Chicago?
I'm not sure.
Because him and I have a little wager. Oh, yeah, you and I have a little wager. With this loss, the Bulls playoffs started today. They'd be on the outside looking in.
13-13 at this point?
They'd be on the outside looking in.
If I lose the wager, I'll pay up no problem. But if I win the wager, I hope we don't have any problem.